Alright, welcome back. This is, again, a match between two teams that we saw before. I had to look up their names because I had no idea who was playing before. This is a match between Hyperbeast City, is the name of the team on blue side of the map, and Team Abnormalize, which is the red team on the top side of the map. As far as who we have playing in this game, we have, for Hyperbeast City, we have Nerf Hunter playing as Misfortune, Baby Eater jungling as Jungle Lee Sin, I Love Nickwu playing as Support Lulu, RF Legendary playing as Kha'Zix, and looks like he is going to be in the top lane, I think. Yes, he's going to be in the top lane, and Fear Me with the PH playing not as Support Zyra, but playing as AP Zyra in the middle lane. Meanwhile, on the other side, for Team Abnormalize, we have Kali Toxic playing as Support Nunu. We have Four Not Tricks playing as Twisted Fate in the mid lane. We have Swaying Gretzky jungling as Maokai. Fragnatic playing as Caitlyn in the bottom lane. And Inox playing as the Riven in the top lane. One thing that, let's see, remembering back to the first game, this is the second game in their best of 3 series. If I remember correctly from that first game, and it's a little bit hard because I didn't see, because again I didn't know what the names were. I believe that Hyperbeast City won the first game. I'll have to go back and double check that. I believe the blue team is ahead 1-0. I will go ahead and double check that later, but I believe that they won the first match and that they are the one on top. Wow, look at Inox going in against RF Legendary, but Legendary is baiting this fight. In comes the Jungle Lee Sin. He does have red buff, and I don't think Riven's going to make it out of here. First blood to Kha'Zix in top lane. Wow, not the one you want to give that first blood to. And a really interesting jungle path, too, from Baby Eater. He started red, and he did not do blue after that. He did red, and then just ran all the way up the top lane. So he got there about 15 to 20 seconds before Inox thought he would be there. In fact, Inox was still only level 1. So he just got there faster than the top lane Riven thought he would be there. And thus, Riven, willing to go in, didn't think the jungler would be there yet, thought that Lee would claim his blue and get level 3, but no, went there at level 2. So, and came there with red buffs, but it turned into a very effective gank. So, first blood to Kha'Zix, and that's not really something you want due to the way that Kha'Zix snowballs the game very hard as sort of an AP, as sort of an AD assassin. The way his jump works, the way he gets resets on his jumps. Very, very scary. Anyway, here comes Lee Sin as well into mid. Can he hit the resonating strike? Yes, he does. Still has that red buff, and this will be another kill in mid lane. This time going to the jungler, going to the Jungle Lee Sin Baby Eater. So he's now made 2 big plays, one in top, one in mid, and that's going to help the mid lane get ahead as well here on Team Hyperbeast City. I do have that correct. Yes, Team Hyperbeast City, the one that's ahead. So a big advantage already, 800 gold lead at the 4-minute mark, already out in front. Let's look a little bit more closely at these lanes. Again, in top lane, it's Kha'Zix. Wow, Maokai took that tower shot. I don't think he wanted to take that. It's RF Legendary as Maokai against Inox playing as Riven. If you look at the 2 players there, Riven just has a cloth armor. That's a good buy, but it's going to be outclassed by Kha'Zix. He hasn't bought yet, but he's going to pick up something here. Let's see, he got boots, and wow, a tear. Very interesting. Wow, the tear. Huh. I was not expecting him to buy a tear. I was expecting long swords towards a brutalizer or something. Is he playing? I wonder if he's playing as AP Kha'Zix, which you can do. It would be very unusual, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Now I'm genuinely curious as to what he's going to build. I just did not think he'd be building a tier of all items. Okay, anyway, elsewhere, let's look at what we've got. Fear Me in the mid here, playing as Zyra, against Trix, playing as Twisted Fate. In terms of farm, they're very close. Twisted Fate has the Doran's Ring and boots. Zyra has the boots and the Null Magic Mantle that's almost certainly for a Chalice of Harmony. And the extra magic resist will help in trades there in the middle lane. Did get the assist earlier to the kill. Did get the assist earlier, so that lane's probably just about even, despite the slight advantage in minion kills for Twisted Fate. And both junglers actually real close to mid again, so we have to keep an eye on that. In bottom lane, again, it is Nerf Hunter as Misfortune against, let's see, who is it? Fragnatic as Caitlyn. Again, that matchup doesn't seem to have changed too much. Actually, no, they're turning this around. This is going to turn into a big fight. Lulu, does she hit the Glitter Lance? I believe that she did onto Kate, but Kate has her net. It's going to be able to disengage from that. Looks like that trade I think favored MF a little bit. I think favored the blue team side. Hyperbeast City a little bit in that particular fight. That's a nice double up shot right there onto Fragnatic. Both ADs have the same thing. They both have boots, and they both rush the Vamp Scepter for sustain in lane. Wow, another nice double up, or whatever that skill is called, the double shot, hitting onto Fragnatic. Actually going to be forced to chase back and go by. In the jungle, Lee Sin has boots and a Madrid Razor. On the other side, Maokai has the Spirit Stone. Not a big difference on either side right there. So we've seen some big plays coming out already. Not a huge difference in terms of gold so far, but we have seen the blue team, Hyperbeast City, getting a slight edge here in the early going. We'll see what they're able to make of that as the game continues to progress. One thing I should point out though is Abnormalize has been farming these lanes a little bit better, and that's why it's as close as it is in the overall gold count. They've been out farming these lanes a bit. One nice thing is whoever's broadcasting this game finally did take the time to line up the summoner icons down there at the bottom. That makes it much easier to see who's doing better in each lane. Good news for Hyperbeast City, the blue team, is that they do have an advantage in terms of that top lane, and Kha'Zix is a great champion to get ahead just because of the way that he will snowball later on in the game. He's pretty significantly ahead here in the early going. He's about, what, 15 minion kills ahead? Elsewhere, it's pretty close in most lanes. There's not a huge difference elsewhere in the lanes. Lulu putting down the pink. Well, actually, the pink was already down, I think. Looks like it's been there a while. But clearing out vision in the tri-brush down in the bottom corner. After the early action, a little bit less going on right now. Haven't seen quite as much. I do see some pings coming out from Hyperbeast City on Twisted Fate, suggesting that he looks like he has hit 6. Indeed, he has. So looks like they're signaling people to be careful or be ready. Actually, they're setting up a gank mid. Here comes Lee Sin. Baby Eater is coming out. And wow, look at that damage onto Fragnatic. Very good harass. Here comes the TF ult. TF's going to top lane, I believe. That's what's been pinged. RF Legendary gets gold card stunned. In comes the flash from Riven. Another counter flash from Kha'Zix. Will he be able to escape this? No, will not be able to escape. Riven was still sitting on her wind slash, and that was enough, along with the ignite, to finish off Kha'Zix right there. Actually, both ignites used on him right there. So 2 ignites and the TF ult, and 1 flash from Riven, enough to finish that off. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of an encounter over by the Wraith camp of the red team, but it's not going to turn into a bigger fight. Oh, forces the flash, would have gotten rooted. Now action in bottom lane as well. Lulu is doing a good job with the polymorph and the glitter lance. Still not able to kill Caitlyn. Caitlyn's actually getting bullied around by MF thus far, and that's a good sign, again, for Hyperbeast City, that they are having as much success as they are. Still, a good response from Team Abnormalize up there in top. Now we've got another big fight. Zyra ult comes out, going to knock 3 people up in the air. Will Maokai go down? He's probably 1 auto attack away, gets that auto attack. Baby Eater low, though. Oh, Inuix, the shield! Looks like that will allow him to survive just barely, using that shield to come out on top. As Riven points to the sky, and thanks for good fortune for escaping from that particular conundrum. So a 1-for-1 trade there. The game is still quite close. It looked like Hyperbeast City might get a little bit too far ahead, might start to pull this one ahead, but then Abnormalize is able to make a few plays and keep it close. Kha'Zix, though, is starting to get quite far ahead in top. He's actually farming behind the tower right now and putting some pressure on the jungle. A lot of minions getting eaten on that tower, so he's getting significantly ahead in top lane. And right now, apparently not scared at all to farm behind the tower. Riven will get some of that farm, but the advantages are starting to stack up. Here goes the TF ult again. Going in after Kha'Zix. Will he be able to make his escape from this? He's running. I wish we could see what's going on. Looks like he is going to be fine, though. Kha'Zix does have that jump, and I wonder if he evolved his jump first. Wow, MF ult instantly canceled. Don't feel like that was intended. In comes the Lulu ult, though, and the damage didn't look like it went off from the Nunu ult. Anyway, MF's going to turn around and fight, does not get it, and Kate flashes backwards at the last second. Looks like she used her cleanse in that fight as well. Very close fight. Looks like it came down to just the extra tower shot that Miss Fortune absorbed at the start of that fight. Very close, nicely played on either side, but Miss Fortune not quite up to the task of taking out Caitlyn there. We've seen one good use of the Twisted Fate ult so far. The second use of Twisted Fate ult didn't really lead to anything, but Twisted Fate is 2-1, Zyra 1-0. Both mid laners seem to be off to a pretty good start. In bottom lane, Miss Fortune was dominating that lane, but Kate just pulled a kill back, and that should help. Although it looks like Miss Fortune's running back to lane with a Brutalizer, so she'll have a big advantage just for right now. We'll see if Kate decides to go back and buy something after this wave of minions hits her tower. In top lane, Kha'Zix now does have the Brutalizer. Riven rushed the Ninja Tabi. That's a good choice. Next has a longsword and a cloth armor. Not 100% sure what that's going to turn into. Possibly pieces of two different items. I'm not sure. Oh, now it makes sense. Okay, now she's going for her own Brutalizer, and she wanted some more armor as well. So the double longswords. Kha'Zix does have a very substantial lead. That's really the biggest difference in this game, is in the top lane. Elsewhere, though, it's very close between the two. It's a little bit surprising, actually, that you'd think that Hyperbeast City would be ahead by more gold than they actually are, given that, you know, they're significantly ahead in farm in that top lane. But no, it's actually quite even, and that's probably one place where the Twisted Fate passive is helping them out. Anyway, fight in top, fight in bot. Let's see what's going on. Nope, Riven gonna dash away in top. Lee Sin coming in to gank in bottom lane. Let's see if he's spotted by that ward. Or is that a Caitlyn trap? Actually, that might be a Caitlyn trap. Okay, so he's snuck into the bottom brushes. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Nope, Lee Sin has decided to back off. Looks like it wasn't there. Actually, the bottom brush was warded. It was just warded, and they probably spotted Lee Sin when Nunu dropped in that ward. Anyway, blue buff donation here in mid. The timing of the blue buff is a little bit off for Hyperbeast City because Lee Sin started red and he didn't go and do blue early in the game. He waited to do blue until after he ganked top lane and got first blood. So Zyra's own blue won't be up for a little while yet. We'll have to wait and see. It should be up in about a minute or so. Twisted Fate does have that Underworld TF skin. Has the little ghostly cards. And here we go. Here we see our first real play of the game. Looks like Abnormalize is making a play for Dragon. They've brought down Riven from top lane, and they have all 5 here. Are they going to be able to get this? Yes, they are. Kha'Zix heading back to top lane. So that will be a free Dragon for Team Abnormalize, and that's going to give them the gold lead right now, at least up until Kha'Zix takes that top tower, which he probably will do here. If he takes that tower, it will largely be an even trade. Tower for Dragon, we see that all the time. He may just be letting minions die on... Yeah, okay, so he's going to let it kill more minions rather than trying to take the tower immediately. Again, the trade-off for getting that Dragon was Kha'Zix gets further ahead of Riven in top. The advantage... Alright, there it goes. So there goes the tower, and that means it's largely an even exchange. I still think that that was a good play from Abnormalize, though. Taking that Dragon will definitely help them out, and it will give gold to everybody on the team, including lanes that might be struggling. Anyway, right now, pressure going on bottom tower. Hyperbeast City pushing this tower. Kate Nunu back buying, and they may lose this tower to the push from Miss Fortune and Lula. They're just sitting there auto-attacking it. Wish I could see how much life the tower has left, but they're going to get a lot of damage on it regardless. And here comes the wave clear from Miss Fortune. It looks like they really want this tower. It must be low at this point. Wish I could see it. And Kate looks like she's trying to bait a fight. Knows that TF is thinking about ulting down there. But yeah, see, TF was thinking about it. He had the gold card, he was thinking about it, but ultimately decided not to. Kha'Zix is roaming, though. Kha'Zix is not in top. He is just roaming around looking for a kill. Looks like he wants to go on TF. Let's keep an eye on this right now in mid lane. He wants to jump on Twisted Fate. If Zyra can hit a snare, that will likely be a kill. Lee Sin is lurking as well in this area, so there's a lot of action around mid right now, and that's good for Hyperbeast City because they couldn't farm that top lane anyway. They might as well get some action around mid while Kha'Zix can't farm them. Oh wow, here comes Lee Sin with the Lulu ult. Nicely done. Here comes Kha'Zix as well. Good Nunu ult, a lot of damage, but it's still going to be a double kill. Kha'Zix and Lee Sin coming in from behind the tower and taking advantage of that one. Now they need a safe recall. They need to get everybody out. MF is very low. They need to get everybody out safely. TF still does have that ult available, so they need to recall together as a group in safety. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this onto someone. There is the flash. Oh, the counter flash, though, from MF. Nicely timed. And, oh, the jump from Kha'Zix. Yes, he has evolved that jump. And, oh, is he going to make it out? The wild card, no, not enough. Wow, so many people so low. Kha'Zix and Misfortune making it out on little slivers of life. But it looks like Hyperbeast City will make it out with no further damage. And now they're going to continue pushing on this mid tower and getting extra damage. Wow, that Zyra burst. Oh, I think she's got it. Yes, she does. Riven not able to shield because she was knocked up in the air. I think her shield might have let her survive that, but she could not get it off. That Ignite was ticking the whole time that Riven was first rooted and then knocked up in the air. So once again, the leading gold going back to Hyperbeast City just by a little bit, not by much, but a very slight lead. And their position just feels better in this game overall, largely because I feel like Kha'Zix is going to be sort of the key player for them in these fights. Anyway, down goes the tower as well. They just have more map control as we see another fight. Lulu with the polymorph onto Kate will allow her to escape out of there. Nicely done by Lulu. Anyway, as I'm saying, I just feel like the advantage in that top lane, being ahead by almost 60 minion kills now in top lane, it just feels like a really crucial advantage. Riven is not going to be that useful if she falls behind in that top lane, which she has, whereas Kha'Zix will just leap in, kill someone, leap in, kill another person. That's really the lane that Abnormalize did not want to see themselves fall behind, and they've just got a really strong push going on here. They've already got 2 towers. They're getting a lot of damage here now on mid as well. TF's down there in bottom lane. This will be their 3rd tower, and they're just gaining so much map control here. Twisted Fate probably needs to get back here. He's trying to split push bot, but they're taking more damage on mid tower. In comes Maokai. We might see a big fight here. Expect the TF ult to come in. It is coming in as well. In comes the Lulu ult though, and that's going to help them disengage from this fight. It's not going to be enough to save Lee Sin though. Nunu getting off a nice ultimate as well. Down goes Misfortune, and Abnormalize has turned this around. A 3-for-1 in that fight. Kha'Zix still lurking though, and we'll see. He might want to jump in here. There are a lot of people low, but if he values his life, he might also want to make discretion the better part of valor. And now it's Abnormalize who's turned this around and are pushing, and now they've reclaimed the lead. So they got a TF coming in there from the side. Nunu was able to run into the middle of Hyperbeast City and get off a good ult, and now they're the ones who pull 2 towers out of this and take a larger lead. So a really nice response from Abnormalize. It looked like they were starting to get pushed around a little bit, and then they come back with a huge play of their own, catching Hyperbeast City in a push that might have been gone a little bit too far, and catching Twisted Fate coming in from the side to get in the back lines. They were able to blow up Nerf Hunter, the Misfortune player, very, very quickly, and without that AD damage ticking away, it was tough for Hyperbeast City to win the fight, so they ended up going 1 for 3 from their perspective. Okay, while we have a bit of a moment to breathe here, let's look at some of the items. Dragon is actually about to come up very shortly, in about less than 1 minute if I've got it timed right. So we'll keep an eye on that. But meanwhile, items, Black Cleaver on Kha'Zix, still has that tier. Maybe he wants Manamune or something like that. A little bit strange. Lee Sin has the Wriggles, and he's building towards Aegis. Zyra has her Chalice. Sork Shoes going for Death Cap. Dragon is now back up. Misfortune has her Brutalize, has the Bloodthirster and a Brutalizer, and a bit of an early Brutalizer. You don't see that quite as often from the ADs as from some of, or the ranged ADs as from some of the bruisery, assassiny type champs. Anyway, Dragon is up. Abnormalize making a play for it. Lee Sin is not here. He's up in top lane. He is not in position, but Hyperbeast City does have the vision advantage. They've got the pink ward there, but without their jungler, they're not going to win the smite war, and indeed they don't. Here comes, oh wow, good MF ult, though, a lot of damage. Great Lulu ult, knocking up quite a few people. Can Nerf Hunter make it out, though? No, does not. Continuing to get jumped on in these fights. MF keeps dying in every fight. Swain Gretzky will fall. 1 for 1, no, 2 for 1. Kha'Zix managed to get a kill on Maokai. Now Trix is in all kinds of trouble. Trix, silly rabbit, Tricks are for kids. It looks like he will make it out. Lulu is still chasing him, but I don't know if Nunu can say the same thing. Kha'Zix is going to have that jump up soon. Oh no! Lulu, you don't want a 1v1 against the enemy's mid laner. It's not going to go well. And in fact, Nunu did manage to make it out of there. So that actually turned into a 2 for 2. It looked like a total disaster for Abnormalize, but 2 for 2. And they're actually going to make it out of this without too much damage. Little damage on that top turret. Hyperbeast City really would have done better to just turn and kill Twisted Fate. Instead, They continued chasing after Nunu, who they didn't get, and then they left Lulu to be bursted down by Twisted Fate, so very needless there. Oh, are they going to turn around and finally get Nunu? Is he? Nope, Kha'Zix not going for the jump, decides not to go for it. So no, we'll not get that. Oh boy, they're recalling on a ward. That's not good. Does TF have his ult up? No, almost though. I think they'll make it out. Wildcard's doing pretty good damage. Okay, so that turned into a pretty good fight for Abnormalize. They got Dragon and then went 2 for 2 in the subsequent fight. It really probably should have been 3 for 1 in favor of Hyperbeast City, but they just didn't pursue Twisted Fate and ran after Nunu, and they, as I said, they didn't get him. Looked like they were going to, but they didn't. Anyway, other items on the other side. Once again, in terms of Abnormalize, Riven really hasn't completed an item yet, just has Tabi, and then has a Brutalizer. She is surely close to finishing Black Cleaver, but she's a long way behind of Kha'Zix. Their jungler, Maokai, has the Spirit Stone. He's now just finished a Giant's Belt, and he also has an Aegis. Very strong sort of support jungle items there. The Spirit Stone for clearing the jungle, the Giant's Belt to keep him alive in fights, and then the Aegis into Runic Bulwark later for the team aura that it provides. Twisted Fate is getting very strong indeed. 5-1-2, Deathcap, and Lichbane now. Those are his 2 core items. We'll see what he builds from there, but he already has his core build, and he'll be very strong at split pushing with the Lichbane. Meanwhile, Caitlyn has Bloodthirster and Phantom Dancer and is working towards her own Last Whisper. In the meantime, though, Hyperbeast City is pushing on this mid tower. We'll see if they're able to get some more damage onto it. There is good wave clear on the part of Abnormalize, though. They do have Caitlyn's Peacemaker, they have TF wildcards, so it's a little bit difficult to push on this team because, as I said, they can get rid of the creep waves very quickly. And you never want to get into sort of a poking war with Caitlyn just because she outranges you as an AD. She definitely outranges MF. And here we go. There's the initiation. It goes. Oh, I think it was supposed to go on MF. It went on to Lulu instead. MF is doing just ulting in the back. This Zyra ult is going to blow the team up. And oh, this initiation has gone terribly, terribly wrong for Abnormalize. They're in all kinds of trouble, just racing backwards as best they can, running away from the horrible bug monster that is Kha'Zix. I think they'll be able to get the rest of their people out, but that did not go well at all. 0 for 2, and again, the big issue there was Maokai went in, and I think he meant to click on Misfortune, but he clicked on Lulu instead, and he did not get his root on Misfortune. She simply flashed backwards and then got a Lulu ult and got off a huge MF ultimate right on the middle of Team Abnormalize. They took a lot of damage, tons of damage, as we like to say, from that Misfortune ult. And that fight went very, very poorly. They lost the tower, and honestly, they were lucky that they didn't lose more than that. Lost a tower and 2 people killed, but they were fortunate that they didn't just get aced and lose an inhibitor as badly as that fight was going. So they were able to extract themselves at the end of that fight, fortunately for Abnormalize, but not a good fight indeed. And the game has gotten a lot closer once again. Hyperbeast City now down just over 1,000 gold. And again, still with the map, sort of the map presence advantage due to having 2 more towers down. 4 towers to 2 on their side. Anyway, Kha'Zix has indeed built the Manamune, and that's a little bit strange. I've never seen anyone build Manamune on Kha'Zix, although I am no expert on Kha'Zix. So we'll see how this works. If you can get it upgraded into the Muramana and then turn that thing on, it could make him that much deadlier in these fights. But I am surprised he didn't just go for just a straight Bloodthirster if he wanted damage or something like that. I don't know, it could be wrong. But it does seem to me that if he just wanted damage, he could have just built like a Bloodthirster for the exact same cost, and probably had done a better chance of just assassinating people. We shall see. We shall see. The positioning of Kha'Zix in these fights will be crucial. If he can get his resets, get his extra jumps off in these fights, he's going to be a true monster. If he can't, then it won't be nearly as big of a deal. Alright, it looks like Hyperbeast City wants to go right back to pushing again. They've been pretty aggressive in terms of setting the pace for this game. They keep pushing in lanes. They rarely seem content to just sit back on the defensive. They are still down in gold. Not by a lot, but by about 1,500 gold. And usually when you're down in gold, you're more trying to defend, not trying to push. But they seem like they really do want to keep pushing this. Look at all the shields going on MF. Going in and, watch, she's getting a really good poke on this tower. What is the response going to be from Abnormalize here? They can't just sit here and let their mid tower get poked down like that. They're going to have to do something. Now getting in a few more shots on the tower. I'm not sure that that was worth it. They took about 3 tower shots and maybe did 100 damage to the tower. I don't know if that was worth it. But we'll see. We'll see if they use... Oh, nice wildcard damage there from Trix, the Twisted Fate player. We'll see. MF still going after that tower. Here comes the Maokai Twisted Advance, and this time it does hit on MF. She gets the Lulu ult, gets off another good ultimate. It looks like Abnormalize just can't get to MF, but they're killing the front line instead. Riven is doing tons of damage. Twisted Fate quite low. Will he fall? No, he does not. He's alive with 30 HP, and that's an ace, 5-2 in that fight. So wow, what a difference clicking on the right target makes when you use Twisted Advance. So I mentioned that Hyperbeast City was pushing forward really aggressively when they were not ahead in gold, and I think we saw the result of that there. They got engaged on, and even though Abnormalize wasn't able to get to Misfortune at the start of the fight, they just killed the tanks instead. I mean, they just chewed right through Lee Sin and Kha'Zix, and once that front line went down, everybody in the back line went down too. So now out to a 4,000 gold lead on the part of Abnormalize, and you know what? They're going to get this top tower too, in all likelihood. They still have Twisted Fate and Caitlyn up there. I'm just amazed that Twisted Fate survived that fight. He was almost on single-digit HP. He was down around 20 to 30 hit points at the end of that fight, but he did survive. I'm sure he didn't mean to cut it that closely, but he did. And now he's gone back, and he's got another kill, and he's picked up a needlessly large rod for himself. So what will the response be from Hyperbeast City? What exactly are they going to do? Are they going to just try the immediate rush Baron? They might want to do that, although the danger is the other team has Twisted Fate. The whole thing where you lose the team fight and then you immediately turn and rush Baron, that play is a lot more risky when the other team has a Twisted Fate, because they'll be able to see you even if they don't have ward coverage. They are not going to go for that. They're going to go and look to fight for Dragon instead. We'll see if they can go for this, but TF is in the area and he does have his ult up, so this... I don't know if this is the best idea either here. We're going to have to be careful. Hyperbeast City could be in all kinds of trouble. Okay, they got the Dragon. Now can they get out? Here comes Twisted Fate. He's going to use the stun card. Oh, MF gets off another pretty good ult. Here comes the Lulu ult. Who is going to come out on top? Nunu will be the first to fall in this fight. Kha'Zix is really low. The tanks are falling on either side, and it's kill after kill after kill for Hyperbeast City this time. The complete opposite of the fight that we just saw, 3-0. Here comes the Kate ult. Oh, it is blocked just barely in time. And wow, where is that Karthus ult? Everybody on Hyperbeast City is so low, but nobody finished off. And it's going to be a straight 3-0 and Dragon as the game swings back once again. That was another fight where Abnormalize wasn't able to get to Misfortune. They again were trying to, but they were not able to kill her. She once again got off a full ult in the back lines. And that was a different fight where Abnormalize didn't kill the tanks in the front row. They could not get Kha'Zix down. They could not get Lee Sin finished off either. Lee Sin was very low, but again, he didn't fall in the fight. And Kha'Zix now has his Miramana, so it will be interesting to see what effect that has. He's also starting to build a little bit more survivability with the Giant's Belt. We'll see what that turns into, whether that's a Warmog's or a Sunfire's Cape or whatever. We will find out. Kha'Zix is very far ahead of Riven. On the other side, though, well, on the other side, it's hard to say who's really far ahead. I was going to say TF's ahead, and I think he is, but it's not like Zyra is weak either. TF's 615, Zyra's 627. They're both very strong. TF is probably a little bit ahead there. Hard to say exactly without seeing the gold total, but he's probably a bit ahead. The two ADs are both extremely strong. Caitlyn will do more damage in the team fights because she has Nunu Blood Boil to give her the attack speed bonus. However, if MF can get off a full channel MF ult on the full team, that of course will outdamage Caitlyn because it's an area of effect ultimate and it can hit everyone on Team Abnormalize at once. Anyway, we still do have a good game here. 3k gold lead for Abnormalize, but they don't have as much map presence as Hyperbeast City does because Hyperbeast City has another tower down. They've got a tower down in the second... actually, no, both teams have a turret down in the second, at the second level, but... Hyperbeast City does have 4 down, so the 3 of Abnormalize. Anyway, here comes a TF ult, using it just for the vision. And is he going to go in on this team? No, well, he will slightly reposition himself, but not force the fight. It looks like Abnormalize did not have vision at Baron, and they used the TF ult to make sure that Hyperbeast City wasn't doing Baron. Good match here, though. We've seen a lot of reversals. Sometimes in League of Legends, we'll see one team get ahead, and then they'll just snowball the game to victory. You see that a little bit more often with the professional teams because they're better at avoiding mistakes. This game has not been like that. This game has been back and forth. First one team having an advantage, then the other team having an advantage, instead of one team getting ahead and then just snowballing the game. We are seeing a push here right up mid from Abnormalize, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anything out of it. They are pushing forward aggressively with all 5, and then they decided they did not want to get caught way far away from their base, and they decided to back off. Oh, here comes the engage onto Fear Me, though. Gold card stun as well. MF ult and Zyra ult, though, getting off a lot of damage onto the team, keeping an eye on Nerf Herder there. Fragnatic is also low, but Fragnatic, the Kate, will not die. He is still alive in the backlines. No, now he has fallen. MF has picked him off, so that is a win for Hyperbeast City. The camera work there was not the best. It was a little difficult to see what was going on, but key thing there, MF survives. Nerf Hunter did not die. Meanwhile, on the other side, Fragmatic did die. He was finished off. At first, I thought he was going to make it out to safety, but no. MF got up there and was able to finish him off. So, clear win for Team Hyperbeast City, 2 for 1, and the key thing is they killed the enemy's AD. Riven's lack of strength is really showing. Anyway, in comes the engagement again. I don't know if this is the best idea, but they will get the kill, unfortunately, only on Zyra, though. MF, though, is still alive, and as long as MF's alive, that's a problem. TF going to use his Zanyas. He should be able to escape from that. MF has no mana. That's part of the problem. So that's going to be another 1 for 1. Yeah, so 1 for 1. The jungler for Team Abnormalize, Swain Gretzky dying, in exchange for the mid laner for Hyperbeast City, Fear Me, playing as Zyra. So, good exchange, good overall fight for Hyperbeast City. They have now, well, they're still behind in gold, but in all honesty, gold's not the only thing that matters in this game. It's very important, but it's not the only thing. With that mid inhib down, their overall position in the game is probably better, despite being down the 2k gold. Look at that, Kha'Zix has now evolved himself again. He's that bright red color. I'm not exactly sure what that indicates. I think that means his ult has been upgraded. I believe he's upgraded his spines, his jump, and his ultimate. I think those are the ones people normally upgrade. I could be wrong about that. I think his claw is the one he hasn't upgraded. I apologize, I'm not super familiar with what the graphical representation is for each of his upgrades, but I know I've seen him using the jump and the spines after they've been upgraded, and I believe it was his ult that he put the last point in. No Rengar in this game for him to kill and get his 4th upgrade, his 4th evolution. Should be more accurate. Alright, so now the focus shifts to Baron. Who will get this Baron? That's the next big thing in the game. Hyperbeast City has the edge with that inhibitor being down, but that doesn't by no means that they're going to win this game. They may actually have caught out Abnormalize. This is kind of a weird engage. In goes Nunu. He's going to flash in for the fight. Zyra ult coming out. MF ult coming out. Trying to watch the 2 ADs. Who's going to survive? InnoX going in too deep. He's going to get blown up right now. Down goes Lulu as well, though. Swain Gretzky trying to run away. Who is going to survive? MF or Kate? I think that they both go down, but Kha'Zix is on the triple kill, and he is just running after Twisted Fate. Oh, here comes the TF ult, though. Where is this going to be? Oh, TF will get the kill. And now it's just the 2 AP mids left alive in this 4 for 4 trade. And look at Zyra. She's being protected by the super creep. Just being protected there. They're both so low, and they're actually caught on sort of the wrong side of the map here. It looks like they're both going to recall back to base. Yeah, in that fight, it was a bit of a weird engage. Nunu flashed the wall and kind of started that fight. His goal was to flash the wall and then channel his absolute zero, but it looked like it got interrupted almost immediately. And from there, it was just a wild brawl by either side. Kha'Zix getting the triple kill at one point. Both ADs died at almost exactly the same time. And in the end, it was just the 2 AP mids that were left. Minions will push over 1 tower in bot. We'll see. Maybe who's on the blue side here? Hyperbeast City may want to try for that Baron rush right now because they do have the super creeps putting a lot of pressure on the base of Abnormalize. It looks like it's too well warded for them to try doing that. Still, despite the carnage over in that last fight, the fact that the inhibitor is down means that the minions are pushing the other lanes, and that means a free tower for Hyperbeast City. So, and yet somehow Abnormalize actually got more gold out of that despite the tower going down. They're actually ahead from being 2k up to being about 3.5k up. Figure that. In any case, though, it's still very close, and I mean, it just comes down to who can win these team fights more than anything. Twisted Fate is still split pushing for Abnormalize, and he's got another tower, so that gives him about a 4.5k gold lead now for Abnormalize. I mean, it's just going to come down to somebody's going to win one of these team fights, claim Baron, and push over the Nexus. And until we see that, it really is either team's game, because Baron is just such a big prize, and the 4,000 gold, I guess it's 4.5k. It's just not that much at this stage of the game. I mean, it is noteworthy, but it's not. It's certainly enough to overcome. Anyway, on Team Abnormalize, Twisted Fate and Caitlyn are really carrying this team. They've got 18 of the 19 kills, 1-7, 0-6, 0-5, the other 3 team members. So, time to man up, feeders. In any case, the 2 damage dealers really are controlling the game for them. If TF and Kate ever both die in a fight, they will immediately lose the fight thereafter, because the other 3 champions, Riven, Maokai, and Nunu, are all there just to protect Caitlyn and Twisted Fate. On the other side, it's more evenly distributed. Kha'Zix is still a lot more scary than Riven in these fights. However, Zyra and MF are probably not. No, Zyra and MF are not as scary as TF and as Caitlyn. Anyway, though, the fight has begun. Started with the Twisted Fate ultimate. Inix getting blown up. The Riven player. Twisted Fate in the back lines. Lee Sin is the first one to go down. Now Fear Me falling as well. The Zyra ult will still get off. Actually gets a double ult after dying from the Zyra ult. Now Kha'Zix is just jumping around like a maniac. He will fall. Lulu going to try to polymorph, but it's not enough. Lulu probably will fall there. There's the auto attack and the Q from MF. Oh, Lulu is still alive. Oh, it's Nunu, the support. And MF will finish this off. So, once again, the AD survives for Team Hyperbeast City. And again, the ADs just do the most damage in these late game team fights. Kate got engaged upon and ended up dying. I think Kha'Zix was doing most of the damage there. Not 100% sure, but Team Hyperbeast City was able to get the kill onto Caitlyn, and then they were also able to get the kill onto Twisted Fate right at the end. A very nice play by MF, the auto attack, and I think the double up or double shot, whatever it's called. And now the fact they're able to reclaim the inhib that was already down before, and again, the advantage of having an inhib down earlier. The other lanes push, so MF able to take advantage of the minion wave in that bottom lane. Home guard boots coming out all over the place for Abnormalize, but it's funny because they're ahead in gold, and yet it really feels like they're behind in this game. It's just they have not had the map positioning all throughout the game. They've been behind in map presence the whole game. They've got that inhib down in mid, and if they don't pay attention to that bottom lane, the minions will just push over the inhibitor in bottom lane. So Hyperbeast City going to force the fight at Baron here. Twisted Fate is not here. Twisted Fate is still in bottom lane, so he can use his ult to get in, but even with his ult, it'll take him a minute to get here. Who is going to get this Baron? Ward's going down on both sides. Twisted Fate ult will surely be coming out. No, it's stolen by Abnormalize. They steal the Baron. In comes Twisted Fate. Who will win this fight? There's so much action. MF on a triple kill. They can't finish her off. There's the Guardian Angel on Riven, but it's going to be popped as soon as Nerf Herder comes out of this. And no, not enough. Quadra kill for MF. And even with the Baron steal, it won't be enough. The ace comes out, and Hyperbeast City has this game still behind in gold by 4K, but it doesn't matter. They've got the map positioning. They've got 3 champs still alive. MF just would not die in those fights. Abnormalize was trying so hard to kill Nerf Herder, and they just couldn't get to MF. She just survived in the last couple fights, and that was enough to make the difference. Even with the really nice steal from Swain Gretzky, was not enough. And that's going to be the end of a highly entertaining game here. I hope people enjoyed this one. Even killing the Nexus still is not going to catch up Hyperbeast City in gold. They still down 1.5k, but they'll take it in exchange for a downed Nexus. And with that, they've taken the series 2-0, and we'll move on to the round of 16. So we will see Hyperbeast City again. Abnormalize goes out. They didn't win either game, but they played very well in both, I thought. Very entertaining matches. In that one, MF just proved to be the difference. MF and Lulu. Lulu did a great job of keeping MF alive using the Lulu ultimate, the wild growth, and Zyra putting down her ult in places to zone people away from Misfortune. Again, just not enough from the other three players. Maokai, Nunu, Riven, they just didn't get enough from these players. They needed more. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see if we have another match later today.